What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another reaction video, and here we got for you guys today how AJ Lee carried the division. How AJ Lee carried the Divas division. There we go. Yeah, man, AJ Lee, I'm not gonna lie, she was kind of crazy. Like when it came to like her wrestling or her talking trash or anything dealing with wrestling or even the little skits they had on YouTube, she they always classified her as crazy, and she actually brought that out in almost every fight that she had. So yeah, even like back in the early 2010s, you can see it. And I actually started watching this video way back, like I want to say when this video came out. Okay, 2024. Okay, yeah. So I seen this video around the time it came out, right? And I started watching it. But you know, I came back to it and I decided to do a reaction to it. So that's what we're gonna do today, man. So yeah, man. Let's get right into this reaction video. Let's go.
I have saved your Divas division.
All the time we think about the greatest women wrestlers, we always hear names like Trish Stratus and Lita, or even the Four Horsewomen. But the one who never gets credit, the forgotten legend, AJ Lee. And that really bothers me, because she deserves to be in that discussion. She carried the Divas division during a tough time in women's wrestling. But now since CM Punk returned, many fans like me want AJ Lee back too. And she's been getting a lot of love recently.
I will say she was one of the few wrestlers in the girls division that I actually liked. Like generally liked as a wrestler, you know, not just how they looked and what type of moves that they was doing in the ring, but like she was dedicated to the game, and that's why I enjoyed watching her. Even with all the craziness she had going on during that time, it was the dedication that she had to wrestling that I liked.
And it really made me reminisce on the good days when AJ Lee was on top of the WWE and I had the biggest crush on her. Anyways, we will be looking back at the legendary career AJ Lee had in the WWE. Man, back then, AJ was crazy. She was a crazy ex that we all know. She seemed so innocent and so nice, but when she would stop that act, she would always go crazy. Like bro, she was doing it all. She went from skipping around the ring, to proposing to Daniel Bryan, to even making out with Kane.
Yo,
bro, how did this
happen?
That
was crazy.
Man, Kane is a legend. But back to AJ. We saw her cause Daniel Bryan the belt at WrestleMania in like 10 seconds. And this was the start of the Yes movement. So this was a big moment. We also got to see AJ Lee as a Raw general manager, and that started a lot of drama too. But before then, we got AJ and Punk together, and those two had a great storyline with Daniel Bryan. It was the love triangle. Go back to their amazing match at Money in the Bank, even their match at Over the Limit. This was good wrestling. I mean, great wrestling. AJ was just always a part of big storylines, and for the Divas division at that time, that was very impressive. So everyone will always want to see what AJ would do next. And she did the unthinkable again. She started dating John Cena. Bro, that's such a funny duo. They just don't look like they fit at all.
Facts.
And they didn't, because a few months later, AJ turned on John Cena for Dolph Ziggler, and this is where things only got better. When you think about the toughest couples ever, you got Beyonce and Jay, Kim and Ye, Cardi and Offset. But man, AJ and Ziggler were right there. They was like the PG version of Edge and Lita. Man, when WWE was on and I had my family.
The PG version. What was they doing if Alright, I'm gonna just be quiet.
Offset. But man, AJ and Ziggler were right there. They was like the PG version of Edge and Lita. Man, when WWE was on and I had my family over, all the time the family would come around, Ziggler and AJ was just getting busy on the side. Yeah, at this time, this was like the peak of both of them.
Yeah, I will say, I know they had their moments, but I didn't know they was like every time they seen each other, it was like on this type of timing. I didn't know that though. I was just paying attention to the wrestling and how crazy she was. That's all I remember is how crazy she was, and I think that's why I mostly remembered her because of how crazy she was during that time. It was a whole bunch of stuff going on. I do remember the whole John Cena thing, the the Daniel Bryan situation was, and then CM Punk. That was that what she had going on with all these different male wrestlers. It was crazy.
Their careers. And then they got my man's Biggie as a bodyguard. That was the cherry on the top. When Biggie first debuted, he was a monster. He was low-key like Solo now that I'm thinking about it. So yeah, he was tough.
Damn.
2013 was a big year for all of them. This is when Dolph Ziggler had the Money in the Bank briefcase, and he was just the perfect winner. With having Biggie and AJ on his side, WWE did his Money in the Bank reign perfectly. They gave Dolph Ziggler one of the greatest cash-ins ever, one of the best crowd reactions. That moment was perfect, and AJ Lee was a part of that. So once Ziggler won the World's Heavyweight Championship, it was time for AJ Lee to be more than just a manager. AJ started her singles career. It's time for AJ Lee to be more than just
Not the tap of the on the butt though. She has. That's how we tapping out. That we gonna tap out right like that? Yeah.
Ziggler won the World's Heavyweight Championship. It was time for AJ Lee to be more.
That's how we gonna tap out, just like that. There was nowhere else you could have tapped out.
More than just a manager. AJ started her singles career for real this time. She was still with Biggie and Ziggler, but she started building herself up and started getting some wins, which even earned herself a title opportunity at Payback 2013 against Caitlyn. Yeah, Caitlyn and AJ had such a fun rivalry. It gave us so much drama. It was really entertaining. For me, that feud has such a good place in my heart.
Yikes.
Because this was the first women's rivalry I ever watched in wrestling. This is what I grew up on, and I'm not disappointed. So at Payback, those two finally got to fight for the Divas Championship. And I'm not gonna lie, this was a banger. WWE gave those two 10 minutes and those two cooked.
Only
I went
10
back
minutes?
to watch that match,
Wow.
and I didn't expect anything special. Just because how women's wrestling was back then, and they didn't get a lot of opportunities to really showcase their skills. But nah, this match was good. And most importantly, AJ Lee won her first Divas Championship.
Can you imagine if AJ never became a wrestler? Like where like, cause she was part of the reason why the WWE girls division is where they are right now with all these new up and coming rising stars that I be seeing all over. She's a part of that. So what happens if she would have never became a wrestler in the early 2010s? Like just imagine where wrestling would be. Not to say that she was like the main part of why it was there, why it became the way it became, because other girls contributed, in that part as well. It wasn't just AJ Lee, of course, but she was part of that. She was like the forefront of that too. It was a couple of girls, but she was one of them. So that's why I'm like, yo, imagine if she wasn't in those moments, like what would happen, I'm very curious, but yeah.
And this was peak AJ Lee. She was on top of the world. She was the best in the world. AJ's reign really felt special. It was different. It actually had a story. They even gave her segments with Stephanie McMahon, and AJ really got to showcase her promo skills even more. AJ just had that swag. She wasn't just a pretty face. She had the mic skills and the in-ring skills. Just to add that in there, she was repping New Jersey good. We love her over here. But like a month after she won the belt,
she's from New Jersey. Oh, she close, at least to me.
Good. We love her over here. But like a month after she won the belt, Dolph Ziggler broke up with her, and this got AJ in her bag even more.
Yeah, I remember that.
Nah, for real. She was in her bag. AJ gave us her version of the pipe bomb on the whole Divas division. This was crazy. AJ was spitting some facts. This was big because women didn't get to do promos like this back in the day, and she killed it. That was the day AJ showed how far above she was all the other women at that
Crazy.
time.
Crazy.
It wasn't even close. In AJ's title reign, we got to see her fight both the Bella Twins and Natalya in singles matches for the Divas Championship.
Bro, I remember that match. Like, with all, like, the crazy, like, mishaps that was going on. Oh, bro. Was it also that same match where AJ kissed one of the twins? Right? I think it was that same match. It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube, that scene that played out, but I think it was.
At that time, it wasn't even close. In AJ's title reign, we got to see her fight both the Bella Twins and Natalya in singles matches for the Divas Championship. 3 Hall of Famers all in their prime, and she beat them all. Then she went on to become the first Divas Champion to defend the title at WrestleMania, and she retained. Her title run was one of the best Divas reigns ever, if not the greatest one. So when it was time for her to end it, it ended perfectly. It was at the Raw after WrestleMania. AJ came out and told everyone that she's the best in the world. But then she got interrupted by Paige, and at this time,
Hey, Paige was another one. She was another one that was held. That core women's group that was up there, bro. Paige was everywhere. AJ, Paige, bro, they was everywhere. She's one of them. She's also another one. She was also one of those girls that was in the forefront of why the girls division is where it is now, man. Listen, Paige is another breed too.
in the world. But then she got interrupted by Paige, and at this time, Paige was just an NXT wrestler, and this was her debut on the main roster. Yeah, so AJ didn't like that she interrupted her, so she smacked her and then challenged her to a match, and it was on.
Hey,
This
hold on.
Yeah, so
This girl was a demon. She was a demon. I remember watching one match, bro. She was a straight demon, bro. Like,
AJ didn't like that she interrupted her, so she smacked her and then challenged her to a match, and it was on. This was the end of AJ's legendary Divas title run. AJ put over Paige. She became the Divas champion in her debut match, and AJ ended her title run as the longest reigning Divas champion at that time, at 295 days. AJ went on to win 2 more Divas championships before officially retiring in 2015. It's crazy to think how much she did in such little time. It's all
yeah, I'm like, she technically just got into the, like, into her career technically, cause when did she first join? Was it 2009? If you think about it, from 2009 or either 2009 or 2007, either way, that's still a short time from then to 2015. Wow.
Also crazy to think that if she would have stayed 1 more year, she would have been able to fight any of the 4 horsewomen or even Alexa Bliss. It's just crazy to imagine that. That really hurts a lot. Matches with Sasha Banks or even Alexa Bliss, those are all dream matches right there. And we could have got it. But hearing a lot about AJ Lee's mental health and just everything she was dealing with, I can't even be mad. I'm just happy she's doing good now. Something wrestling showed us the past 2 years is that anything is possible. We all expect so many returns and debuts in 2024, and I hope AJ Lee is one of them. Fun fact, AJ Lee is younger than Charlotte, and the same age as Becky Lynch.
Really?
When I first heard that, I couldn't even believe it. But anyways, it's time to give AJ Lee some more love and appreciation. Because during one of the toughest times for the women's division, AJ Lee saved it.
I'm not gonna lie, like the next generation of women that came out of after AJ and Paige, and like, bro, those matches would have been crazy. Those matches would have been crazy. Wow. But there you guys have it, man. how AJ Lee carried the Divas division. Something to think about. This was a good time. Like, especially when I couldn't watch like the full matches. Like, I'll go to YouTube and catch like scenes and scenes. You know, the things that I have missed. But nothing could ever beat the 2000s of wrestling. That was like the golden era. Nothing's ever beaten the 2000s. We will never see nothing like that ever again. Like, ever. The Triple X, Shawn Michaels and no, nope. Like, come on, man. That duo was something serious. Like, the early 2000s was a gem. I swear, those early 2000 eras, man. That was something to witness. But yeah, guys, if you enjoy, please like, comment, subscribe. Go to my Patreon. Go to my PayPal if you want to further support. I love and appreciate every single one of you guys, and I hope you guys are here to stay. But with that being said, you guys should already know this by now, man. I'm out of here, guys.